Canada prevailed 5-3 over Sweden tonight. I predicted a 5-2 Canada win, so good to see I was on the right track. Welcome to Owen Talk Sports. Today we're going to cover Canada's game against Sweden at the World Championships. Just give my thoughts on what I thought happened, who played well, what might have struggled. And yeah, just an overall very tame game to start the tournament. It wasn't, a crazy back and forth game. There were some moments where play was a little sloppy. Both teams did have their stretches of play where I would say they commanded the game. And yeah, overall, a good start for Canada. Just start off 1-0, beating probably the best team in the group outside of you. Obviously, are they full strength? Probably not. They'll be adding a few players, especially if the Ducks get eliminated tomorrow. Wink, wink, Leo Carlson. But yeah, a good start to the World Championships for Canada. Going over the stats, shots on goals were 26-25 in favor of Canada. Power play goals, Sweden did score 1, Canada did not. Penalty minutes, Canada took 3 penalties. Sweden had 6 penalties, though one of them was at the end of the game when the whistle blew, so no real power play there for Canada. I think they went 0 for 5 overall. And then on the face-off percentage, 52% in favor of Canada. So yeah, Canada, based on the stats there, I'd say they were the better team. And overall, watching the overall game, I would say Canada were the better team. So yeah, let's get into my thoughts on the actual play. I'd say the first period was probably the tamest period of them all. There wasn't any real physicality. There was only one, I'd say, quote unquote, huge hit, which was a penalty where Ivar Stenberg ended up throwing Darnell Nurse into the boards. Other than that, not loads of physicality that I could remember. Canada did score 2 goals in that first period, thanks to John Tavares and Ryan O'Reilly. Goals were assisted by Darnell Nurse. I believe Robert Thomas got an assist, Gabe Velarde and Morgan Riley as well. So yeah, Canada got off to a strong start. The second period was completely different in favor of Sweden. Sweden played such a good second period, dominated the whole period in my opinion, and Canada were lucky to come out of that period tied, honestly. Sweden were so good, got a couple power plays, scored a power play thanks to Lucas Raymond. Jacob Larsson, Sens legend, got Sweden started in that second period. Then Mattias Ekholm just ripped one past Jack Greaves. But then in the third period, obviously, we'll quickly go back. Canada did steal 1 goal back in that second period, thanks to Dylan Holloway, which at the time did give them a 3-2 lead. And then, once again, Sweden did tie it through Ekholm. On to the third period. It was more similar to the first period. Canada dominated it. And Sweden, I think they had 20 shots after 2. Only had 5 shots in that third period. They only had, I think, 6 shots in the first period. So 14 of their 25 shots came in that second period. Whereas for Canada, they had 8 shots after the first, only 16 after the second, so they did have 10 in the third, doubling Sweden shots in that third period. Clearly showing they were a step ahead. Got goals from Connor Brown and Dylan Cousins. Again, shout out my Senator Dylan Cousins getting on the score sheet. It was actually a really nice goal. Showing why he's the workhorse from Whitehorse. But yeah, Canada, they're the better team in my opinion. I do think, again, Sweden's second period was probably the best stretch anyone had, but Canada overall were the better team and did deserve to win the game, which they did. Up next for Canada, they'll be playing tomorrow at 10:20 a.m. versus Italy. We'll get a review on that game once that game does played. I do think it won't be as close as the one we just watched today. So going over the scoring, quickly once again, John Tavares had a goal, Ryan O'Reilly, Dylan Holloway, Connor Brown, Dylan Cousins, Fraser Minton, Porter Martone, Darnell Nurse all added multiple assists, while Gabe Velarde, Morgan Riley, and Dylan DeMello also did add assists. For Sweden, Jacob Larsson, Lucas Raymond, Mattias Ekholm did score. Jack Berglund, I believe Flyers prospect, I want to say. I'm not fully confident on that one. Had 2 assists. Oliver Ekman-Larsson, the Leaf, had an assist. And then Linus Karlsson, the Canuck, and Simon Holmstrom, the Islander, also added assists. As for the goalies, Jack Greaves had an 880 save percentage. Magnus Hellberg got to start for Sweden and had an 808 save percentage. Players of the game picked by each staff were Fraser Minton of the Bruins, and then Mattias Ekholm, the Oilers defenseman, who his teammate, or his line mate actually, Evan Bouchard, was on the other team, Canada. I'd say we'll go over to goalies quickly. Jack Greaves, I liked his start. Especially in the start of the second period, he was so good. Then he gave up a goal, and I thought it went downhill for them. I thought the first goal he should have had. Second goal, I won't blame on him. He was screened. The third goal, again, I think he should have had. It was a great shot by Ekholm, don't get me wrong. But if you have an opportunity to look at the skater, the shot's coming towards you, I think you have to make that save almost every time. So, a couple weak ones on Greaves, but other than that, thought he played a strong game. As for Magnus Hellberg, I didn't think he was great for Sweden. The first goal, John Tavares, I'll give him that one. He couldn't do anything about that. Darnell Nurse, to be fair, they're saying he was trying to shoot the puck, but the Swedish player got a stick on him, so the puck went straight over to Tavares for the wide open net. Ryan O'Reilly one was just a jam in front, and Ryan O'Reilly inevitably put it in. Again, won't put too much on that one. The Holloway one, he got a piece of, and I think you can get a piece of it. You probably should keep it out. So, not a great goal to give up there for Hellberg. Connor Brown goal was just, again, it was just a nice little shot. But yeah, I mean, I don't think he was great. I think some of the goals he gave up, you probably should have given up. Some of the goals he probably might have should have had. I mean, Dylan Cousins one, he was like floated a backhand where he wasn't even looking and it went in. So that one probably should have had. Overall, thought both goalies were fine. Again, liked Greaves' game, but he did have a passage where did wish that second period for Greaves wasn't great. It is what it is. I mean, Canada, they won. He played fine, made some huge saves at points where it really could have flipped the tide of the game. And yeah, I mean, good result overall for Canada. For the skaters, I'm gonna shout out the Minton, Martone, Connor Brown line. They were all over it today. Definitely the most noticeable line for me, and they weren't the guys you were probably pegging to step up here for Canada. You probably thought it would be the Celebrini, Scheifele, Crosby line, which I also thought was a good line, but they weren't scoring. They were getting chances. Hellberg held his own against that line, but the Minton, Martone, Connor Brown line did step up when needed. As for Sweden, one player I did really like was Ivar Stenberg. I thought he had a good game, thought he was all over it, and definitely could have gotten a couple points. He did have a goal that was taken away because of a high stick, and yeah, I thought Ivar Stenberg definitely looked like he'll be a name they'll remember for the NHL. And Viggo Bjork, on the other hand, wasn't noticeable. The other young Swedish player who people were talking about. So Sweden, what's next for them? I mean, I think they'll probably go perfect the rest of the way. Maybe have a tough game against the Czechs, maybe the Slovaks. But Sweden, they got what will be their toughest game done right away. Canada, again, they play Italy tomorrow. Should be an easy win. Should be a quick review, similar to this one. My personal player of the games, I do have Ekholm and Minton down there because that's who they were awarded the awards after the end of the actual game. I agree with Minton. If I were to pick someone from that line, because I did think the Minton, Martone, Connor Brown line was the best line, so I will go with Fraser Minton. No, I think they got that one right. For Sweden, I would say Ivar Stenberg. I was hyping him up. I thought he was the best Swedish player out there. I thought him, Raymond, definitely have some chemistry. They will never team up. They won't team up with each other in Detroit unless Detroit makes a crazy move. But they were definitely really good. Definitely showed some chemistry and should be fun for Swedish fans to watch for the rest of the tournament and for future tournaments where they'll probably be teaming up a lot, like the upcoming NHL hosted World Cup and then future Olympics. So Canada starts 1-0. Hopefully it's the first of 10 straight wins here at the World Championships. Again, I think this roster should be going 10-0. They start off with a huge win against Sweden. Thanks for listening. We'll be seeing you tomorrow after the Canada-Italy game. And then, I mean, yeah, we'll be following us as Canada tournament. We're giving you updates after the round robin. And let's hope for it's a fun tournament for us Canadians.